Yes, okay. Thank you very much. Full hands. There we go. We'll leave that. Nice. Hello. Thank you for having me, first of all. I moved to Lisbon 2 months ago, and it's been an incredible journey so far, and standing here is an absolute pleasure to be talking to you all. Yeah, maybe just a couple of minutes about me before we get into the breath. I originally have a background in psychology, and my job used to be to talk with people. And then I moved to London. I lived there for 10 years. I worked in many startups related to personal development. And one of the things I noticed when we were doing coaching sessions or when we were talking in more like a therapeutic session was there was a lot of head involved. There was a lot of thinking. There was a lot of narratives, personal narratives, your story, your beliefs. And it was interesting because as I was working with people, I really noticed that there was a lot more going on. But the problem was I had no tool to actually work with that, because we're taught to think, we're taught to talk. We're not necessarily taught to feel and use basically 80% of the data that also makes part of your story and who you are, and how you present yourself, and your energy, and how you come across, and how all those emotions, feelings, and sensations actually completely determine your thoughts, your narratives, and your beliefs. So that's how I got interested in the breath. So that's what I want to talk a little bit about to you today, so you get a bit of an understanding. And talking about threat, it's interesting that we're talking about the sort of red line, the narrative that happens ongoingly, because the beautiful thing about the breath is that it's always a reflection of your state. The breath never lies. How you breathe is a reflection of the state of your whole body. So it's there, it's always there, it's just a matter of looking at it. And at the same time, some people ask me, like, what is it you actually do? Right? Like, I've been breathing all my life, I'm alive, so I must be pretty good at it, right? I guess you can agree on that. But just because you breathe automatically doesn't mean you breathe efficiently. And maybe even as I'm saying all of this, you notice already your breath may be changing. You'll be like, yeah, how do I actually breathe? But at the same time, I find it super important to remind you all that everything related to breath work is not an exercise to do. So don't confuse the tool for the goal. And I've been seeing that a lot. When I'm going to do breath work, I'm going to do breathing, and I'm going to do every day, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be a big exercise. So today, actually, what I want to teach you is how you can use the breath as a tool to regulate yourself. Does anyone know here, how many times a day do you breathe? See if you for yourself, you can make a guess. Give me some numbers.
1,000,000 times.
1,000,000 times?
35,000.
35,000. So you breathe around 20 to 25,000 times a day. Now, who here has ever been taught how to breathe? Yeah, kind of a couple of hands. Yeah. So there's this thing you do 20,000 times a day. If you stop doing it for 3 minutes, you're dead, and no one has told you how to do it. Right? I find that in a way quite bizarre. So what we're going to do today is a little exercise for about 10 minutes that basically is going to teach you how in an ideal world you would breathe day to day. Yeah? So that you stay within what is called your window of tolerance, so that you can actually handle the world and you don't blow out of your window of tolerance, right? Maybe you've been to Web Summit, boom, so many people, so many conversations, new groups, new people, and that's often when you get things like burnout or difficulties or depression or anxiety, because we move outside of our window of tolerance. So we're going to do a breathing exercise now that you can use as your general guideline for your breath, so that you stay nicely within the window of tolerance and you can actually enjoy life and feel a little bit. Yeah? Should we do that? Cool. Okay. Then we're going to do some music. Okay, so if you want to, you can close your eyes. If it feels better, you can keep them open. I would recommend to uncross the legs, feel the feet, and just take a breath, whatever that looks like for you right now. And maybe there's already a part of you that wants to get this right, See if you can let go of that thought. And your breath is always a reflection of the state of your nervous system. So if you analyze your breath right now, what do you notice? Is it the breath of someone calm, someone grounded, someone excited, someone nervous, or someone who's in a rush? And then we're going to apply 4 guidelines. And the first guideline is nose. So if you can, I invite you to breathe in and out through the nose. And just see what that feels like. Ideally, you would be breathing in and out through the nose at all times. Your nose has over 30 unique functions when it comes to breathing, whereas your mouth is just a big hole in the face that gives you access to a lot of air if you're actually in danger. So just appreciate everything your nose is doing for you. Filtering the air, warming the air up, cleaning the air. And notice how the air that you're breathing in is a little bit cooler than the air that you're breathing out again. And every time your head gets very busy, just come back to the physical sensation of the breath. So keep breathing through the nose, as we're going to apply the second guideline, which is deep. Now deep is not to be confused with big, so we don't want to take bigger breaths, but we want to follow the breath. So the breath comes in through the nostril, hits the back of the throat, goes through the neck, towards the heart space, and from there you notice an expansion in the body. So see if you can notice that. I breathe in through my nose, horizontally the air goes to the back of the body, through the throat, through the neck, and your diaphragm gently pushes down. Maybe your body wants to move a bit, that's okay. So allow your diaphragm, your main breathing muscle, to push down on your abdomen, and letting the abdomen come forward. Now you might have been hearing a lot about belly breathing, but deep breathing also involves the rib cage. In an ideal world, the whole body always moves. So allow your rib cage to move as well as you breathe. But keep your shoulders nice and relaxed, nice and calm. Relax your jaws as well. You don't have to protect yourself in here right now, you're okay. So you're now breathing through the nose and you're breathing deep. Now we're going to add a third guideline, which is slow. So see if you can slow your breath down. See if you can take more time as you breathe in, and especially more time as you breathe out. So finding some length in the exhale. And notice how the rest of your body responds to the lengthening of the exhale. Maybe you're even dozing off a little bit. Maybe you have to yawn. Maybe you need to wiggle a bit to keep yourself present. That's okay. So right now you're breathing through the nose, deeply and slowly. And now we're going to apply the fourth guideline, which is less. So in an ideal world, most of us would be breathing 8 to 10,000 times, not 20,000. So most of us are over breathing. And when we breathe in a rushed way, we feel rushed. apply the last rule, which is less. So after your exhale, see if you can simply wait. Not holding the breath, but you breathe in through the nose, gently, deeply, down into the body. You breathe out, nice and slow. When you get to the end of your exhale, you simply wait for the next breath to naturally happen. And you notice that there's a micro pause there. Maybe it's half a second, maybe it's 5 seconds. Not holding the breath, but just waiting until your body says, now I want to breathe again. Just notice now, how do you feel in your body as you've applied these 4 breathing guidelines? Nose, deep, slow, and less. What kind of person would breathe like this? Does anyone or any of these 4 guidelines feel like, that's something I could change in my day-to-day breathing? Maybe one you want to apply a little bit more. And then whenever you're ready, you can slowly start to bring yourself back into the here and now. Okay. How'd that feel? Relaxing.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
You said nice. What did you notice?
I felt myself more connected to my body. And being able to go concentrate everything on all the worries, all the things, like I was more in here now, and that's
So anyone who found this very challenging? It's also fun. Yeah, kind of. No, it can be, right? Yeah, maybe you had a super busy week and this is just too slow for you right now. Yeah, thank you for that. Yes?
I really love the music.
Yes.
I was actually just like moving along. Do you like, because I know it's like, I don't know if it's always good with that music, but those that have a harder time focusing because there's so many thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, is it an enabler that, or a facilitator of the type of music or sounds? The sound is so
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so music can be used in many ways. The nice thing about music is there's an extra stimulus, but at the same time it's relatively calm if you use music like this. So if you have a busy mind, it can help. I often also use beats, so like a 4 count, because sometimes you get all these exercises, right? Box breathing, 4, 4, 4, 7, 8, 5, all these numbers, da da da. So if you find music that has that rhythm in it, you can just follow the music very intuitively rather than having to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Quite hard work. Yeah, so music can be very helpful. If you like the music, my Breath Live Spotify account is freely, it's open, so anyone can use any music. Right, so yeah, just to wrap that up, hopefully you feel good right now. If you need a little exercise to activate yourself again, if you almost dozed off a little bit, which I can totally imagine, if you take 10 quick breaths to the mouth, you'll be fully awake again. If you breathe as if you're in danger, your body will send energy up. Yeah? If you breathe as if you're safe, your body will feel safe, and that's what we just did by breathing in that way. So yeah, if you enjoyed that, feel free to come and find me. I do a lot of one-on-one work with people as well. Therapeutic somatic therapy, where we use the breath and the body as an entry point into your experience. If that's of interest, come and chat to me. I hope to do a lot of breathwork sessions as well, all over Lisbon. And I work a lot with companies as well. Burnout prevention, resilience, authenticity, and all human problems in companies. So if that's of interest, please come talk to me. Thank you so much for having me today. And over to the next wonderful speaker.
Unbelievable. You're a magician. You put us in the right state. Thank you so much for this. And now we're ready to listen to another inspiring talk. And I would like to invite here Yev Malichevskyy, personal development coach. And once again, thank you so much for putting us into a brighter state, because we are more relaxed but more sharp, right? Maybe, and it's easier to perceive the information. This is how I feel, at least. So that's very good. So welcome, Yev Malichevskyy.
Thank you so much, Irina. Thank you so much, Stephen. Here's the thing. I had to go to the bathroom because like I cannot relax before I go to stage and speak. Otherwise I will fall asleep. So it's very nice to see. Welcome everybody. My name is Yev, and I'm going to confess to you, I am hating this right now. Here's why. Because I'm standing and you are all sitting, and I don't want to be pretending like I know better than you or I know more than you. I just had some experiences, and this is why I'm here. So I'm going to be speaking about people-pleasing, from people-pleaser to empowerment. So raise your hand if you are a people-pleaser. Okay. So why did you came here? What are you expecting from me? Well, no, none of you will tell because you want to people-please me. That's fair. That's great. Let's move on. So this is what's going to happen today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. Why do we people please? Like Simon Sinek said, start with why. Consequences, what do we do? How to do it? What is on the other side? And choose your heart. So this is me. Just like more than half of you probably. So there is not much to say. I'm a recovering people pleaser and recovering nice guy, and boundaries and assertiveness were two things that I just hated for so long, and I felt so uncomfortable with those. One reason why I overcame a lot of the hardships, and I had to change the way that I interact with other people, because here's what happens. If I'm people pleasing this wonderful lady over here, what is your name?
Mindy.
Say again?
Mindy.
Mindy. So if I people please you, right, what's going to happen? You don't really going to get to know me. You're going to get to know the version that I think you want me to be. So what happens is you have this authenticity on one side and belonging to the other. And why do we people please? We people please because we fear rejection. And we also people please because we were raised with conditional love. Raise a hand if you were raised with conditional love. If you had to do something so you would love. And I was raised like that. I was raised in Ukraine and Russia, so if I wouldn't get good grades or anything, if I wouldn't behave well, I wouldn't feel loved. And desire to belong, desire to fit in. But here's the thing, you cannot actually fit in if you're not being yourself. You fit in as somebody else, you don't fit in as yourself. So whatever love you receive at that point, it's love for somebody who's not actually you. And can you actually receive that? Or are you just lying to yourself? So stop asking why do they keep doing it, and ask yourself, why do you allow it? You know, because it's not on the other people. Here's the thing, if we go back, it's not on the other people of treating me the way I want to be treated. It's my job to communicate it and to be assertive, to set boundaries. It's my job to communicate, hey, this is how I want to be treated. This is how I feel loved. This is how I feel appreciated. These are my love languages. In my particular case, words of affirmation, physical touch. I also love quality of time and gifts and birthdays, all of that. And yeah, so what are the consequences? Resentment. What happens very often, most of you, unfortunately, as you people please others, as you don't set boundaries and people overstep your boundaries, it's not because they actually desire you bad stuff or they want to treat you badly, it's because they're just being themselves. And what happens is you build resentment. You build resentment, and eventually you build resentment enough until it like either blows up or you just walk away because you cannot handle that anymore. It doesn't make sense. That relationship doesn't make sense to you. And the thing is, like, at the end of the day, maybe all of us, including me, we were taught in a way that, oh, people should already know how to treat me without me telling them. That's a whole lot of crap, okay? People don't know. Like, my upgrowing and her upgrowing and Irina's upgrowing, it's like all of those were different. All of those, we were raised differently. I cannot project like how she wants to be treated unless she actually tells me. And the way she's going to tell me is like, I treat her well and she's going to smile and she's going to welcome me and she's going to give me like more hugs, more love, she's going to spend more time with me. Otherwise, she's going to distance herself. And that is fair, that is okay. And this will allow me to know it's like how she wants to be treated. And also it poisons relationships unnecessarily. Are you still with me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So, I don't actually look like this. Let me just make a small break. Do I look like an 18s porn star? Raise a hand if it's a yes. What the hell, man? You're supposed to treat me nicely. I'm just kidding. No, this is Movember. I'm raising 1,000 euros for men's mental health. And I'm gonna, shit you not, I've raised 520 euros in the last 4 days alone. So I'm keeping this. He agrees. So what to do? Set boundaries, express your needs and desires. So how do we set boundaries?
We need to know them first.
Okay, great. How do you find them? Say again? To learn about yourself. Good. How about, here's a theory that I came up with, right? We think we live a lot in our heads. What is actually not that much true? Well, it is true, but the way we interact with each other comes more from our bodies, right? Like, I need a volunteer. Now, I actually want to do an exercise. Would somebody come here on the stage with me? Bia? Oh, come on.
Preview what you're going to do.
Take an applause for Bia. So here's the thing. Imagine that, draw a boundary, draw a limit somewhere. Imaginary limit. Okay, great. So this is the limit. But I don't know that limit, right? Because you haven't told me yet, right? So what's going to happen if I step on the limit?
I'm going to tell you politely not to step on the limit.
Okay. So you're going to tell me where that limit is, right? Okay, but the thing is, like, how will you know that limit?
Me?
Yes.
Because I should know my limits.
Should. Nope. Here's
That might not be the perfect answer for
No. The thing is, like, you're going to feel it. Because it's not something intellectual, it's something in your body. It's something actually quite somatic. It's like, if I get too close, she's going to be, I don't like this. You know, I don't like his mustache. It's like, what the hell is this? I didn't sign up for this, right? So like, but if I'm here, she's going to feel comfortable, right? So if you just listen to your body, you will know. And the beautiful thing is, this is a hard thing. Her limit today is here, but tomorrow it might be here. And in 2 days it might be here or here, which is okay. Okay? It is okay because we are dynamic. Today we want one thing, tomorrow we want something else. But this is one technique that I use to know where my boundaries are and find them. Thank you so much. You can go back and have the rest of the croissant. Thank you. So this is where I know where my boundary is. So expressing your needs and actually being assertive. So that is something that you need to practice. And what does it mean? So I had to practice in the last 3 years. I sort of made my job having uncomfortable. What's the limit?
I'm going to be uncomfortable.
Okay. But let's imagine you set a boundary with me, right? What happens if I cross your boundary?
I'm gonna be upset and tell you, maybe?
Nope. There needs to be a consequence. When you set the boundary, what happens is like, hey, this is my boundary, and if you cross it, this is what's gonna happen, right? Like, I know it sounds weird, but communicating it just like you are doing with a small child, and I know you have a wonderful kid, and it's like, you actually need to communicate like that. It's like, this is like, because the thing is like, you are free to step over the boundary, as long as you know what the price is gonna be. If you overstep the boundary, I'm only gonna see you maybe once a month. If you are gonna overstep it again, maybe once every 6 months. Whatever the case is, right? And it doesn't matter with whom you've set the boundary. It doesn't matter if it's your friends, your co-worker, your parents, right? It doesn't matter. Like in my particular case, and it's unfortunate, it hurts me to guts, I haven't been speaking to my dad for 2 years. Because I'm not able to set the boundary with him. I haven't yet had the courage to speak to him, and he doesn't treat me very well, you know? Well, it's not that he doesn't treat me very well, I don't feel treated very well by him. And the thing is like, this is what I had to do. But to prevent that from happening, it's like, we need to speak and we need to do better.
Can you please give an example, like from life? Because, okay, one thing, this person is getting too close, and I would just step back and say, okay, sorry, I can't.
Give me a challenge.
Somebody asks you for help and only for help, and never just calls to ask how you are.
Okay, so takers, not givers. So it's lack of reciprocity in that relationship, right? So the boundary that you can, thank you, Marie. The boundary that you actually can set there is, or communicate it. For example, this is how I would do it. And I had the most amazing conversation with a Bolt driver on my way here. I asked him for his number, and I'm going to be inviting him to my birthday in 2 weeks. I'm sitting, goddamn, it was great. So, what's the scenario again? I'm a bit lost.
Yeah, if somebody is asking you for help constantly, but then never is checking.
Okay. So, you would sit down with this person, hey, I'm noticing that you only reach out to me when you have a problem. And you never reach out to me, like, to see how I am doing, to hang out, to have fun, all this and this. And I feel neglected, or I feel used, or I feel whatever the case is, right? Like, and then you make a request. For example, this is NVC framework. Mm-hmm. Would you be willing to check in on me, right? Like, or actually, like, you can literally tell them the words. And a lot of, like me, I thought if I tell them exactly what to say, it's gonna be like, it's not gonna feel real, because it has to be fully come from them. It's crap. It's crap. Just tell them exactly, like, would you mind asking me this specific sentence? Like, I don't know, once a week or once every 2 weeks. It's like literally just give them the words that you want to hear, that you want to listen. And the thing is like, this is what they're going to do with that information. That's not going to be on you. So communicating that, that's your responsibility. What they're going to do with it, it's on them. And if they will do nothing, you just step back. You just don't answer. You just don't help. You tell them like, I'm sorry, I don't have time for you because this relationship is not fulfilling enough at this point. And that is okay. Yes, Julian?
In the NPC framework, Marshall Rosenberg?
Yes.
The way I remember reading it, it was important to affirm the relationship first. Is that gone? Is that something that doesn't seem to be important anymore? To say, I am so glad you're in my life.
Yeah.
And I want to stay. I want our relationship to be good. I get so much out of it, and there's something so.
What if you don't get so much out of it?
Yeah. Well, so then in that case, why are you bothering to ask for a change?
No, here's the thing. It's like, hey, I care about you. I love the person that you are. I want to keep you in my life. Right? You are making an effort I want you to remain in my life, and this is what needs to happen. right? Like, maybe it's because I like the way you are. Maybe it's because you're beautiful. Maybe it's because I like your taste of wine. Maybe we're having fun. Maybe there's something there and you don't know how to put the words to it, which is fine. But I want to keep you in my life for whatever reason. And it's like, that's it.
So that is still part of the research.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really like that. Thank you for the question, Marie. And so, what is on the other side? Fuck. Freedom. It's on the other side. Freedom and attachment. You don't feel as attached anymore. You feel free to be yourself, which is a wonderful thing. Another thing is like actually real connections. By real, I mean like people see you as you are and not somebody who you pretend to be, not the mask that you're wearing all the time. And you get appreciated and loved by who you are. Authenticity, just like for Steven, it's also one of my biggest core values. And for the longest time, I was a people pleaser. And now I am overcompensating. That's the truth. But I'm radically authentic as I can be. And the thing is, it's like, none of us, you're not everybody cup of tea. Which is fine. The thing is like, I will get to your question, which is fine. Just find your people. Eventually, like, if you just go to meetups, if you go to events, if you go to book clubs or whatever the case is, just like, and by being yourself, eventually you will find your people and you will feel so fulfilled and seen and appreciated and loved like you've never been before. And I have done this, like I have more friends that I can handle, like my inner circle is like 20, 30 people, and it's like, you could not imagine how beautiful it is. On the other side, it's a lot more beautiful than you can imagine. Yes?
Yeah, just one question. Do you think the way that we communicate and our boundaries can be related with our attachment style?
The attachment style.
Yeah, like if you are anxious or avoidance, it can reflect in the different ways.
So, yes, for sure. So if you are avoidant, you're going to avoid having that conversation at all, right? If you're going to be anxious, you're going to be stressing them out. I'm trying not to swear here. You're going to stress them, freak out to have that conversation, right? Like, you just have to find your own way to make it happen. And the thing is, like, with different people, so each of you is different, because I cannot give you a formula and it's like, hey, this is going to work for everybody. No, each of you is different, the way you communicate is different, and the other person on the other side is also different. So you also need to make sure that you communicate it in a way that the other person can hear it and understand it. Because if the other side that did not get the message, now it's not going to work out. Last but not the least, choose your heart. And I really like this. Why? You can remain people. I'm not trying to change you. This is something that Zuki and I, my best friend, this is something that we say to each other all the time. Hey bro, I'm not trying to change you, but this is what I'm observing. This is what I'm seeing. And it's like, I'm going to just tell you what I see, and if you want to change, if you want to do something different, it's on you. So, you have two choices. You can remain a people pleaser, and that's a hard life, or you're going to learn and practice slowly to have uncomfortable conversations, set boundaries, stand up for yourself. And that's also a hard path. None of them is easy. And it's a spectrum. Whatever you choose, it's fine. None of it is wrong or right. Nobody knows how to live this life. And if they are telling you they know, they're full of crap. Okay? Your life is yours. And I think this is it. Thank you for listening to me rumble. My name is Yev, and I'm around if you want to ask any questions. That's it. Thank you.